It's time for Montana's only statewide radio talk show, Voices of Montana. The fastest hour in radio starts now with Voices of Montana and your host, John Arneson.
You know, there is a healthcare workforce shortage, especially in rural Montana. Now, a lot of people will say, well, Montana is all rural. And so what does that mean? That means that we have a healthcare worker shortage in 99% of Montana. So we have an organization that's put together. It's called Healthcare Montana. And what it's doing is connecting employer and education partners to develop high quality, locally accessible, industry relevant training opportunities. So we have three components to this program, Healthcare Montana. We have career coaches, we have workforce coordinators, and we have apprentice specialist. And just by chance, happenstance, I just happen to have them right here in front of me in studio, the Voices of Montana studio. Okay, these folks work with Healthcare Montana. We have Kay Norris, who is the project director, and she's from Missoula. We have Pat Royce, healthcare coach. She's from the Laurel, Billings area. Mary Helgeson, Eastern Region Workforce Coordinator, who is from Billings, and Bo Brunsma, Northeast and East Regions Apprentice Specialist. And he's originally from South Dakota, but he calls Billings home now. So everybody, thank you for joining me in studio, and just thanks for coming up and being in such a good mood this morning. Thank you. Let's start with Kay. Kay Norris is the project director. Once again, she's from Missoula. Let's backtrack a little bit. I said that we have a serious workforce shortage in rural Montana and in Montana. Just how significant is our workforce shortage in, let's say, rural health care?
So, John, it really is very significant. And across the entire state, over the last year alone, 2,150 healthcare jobs were added.
Wow.
That means new positions. Over the last 5 years, roughly 7,300 have been added. And the projection is that over the next 10 years, every year annually, there'll be about 1,300 new jobs. So those are vacancies that need to be filled. In addition to that, we have a huge retirement crisis coming down our way because a lot of the healthcare professionals, Montana has one of the oldest populations in the country. A lot of healthcare professionals are at the end of their careers and are going to be leaving, and we really need these new young people to come in, and even not just new young people, but adults that want to retrain and come into a healthcare program. That's what we're about, is trying to figure out how to make that possible for them.
That's what you said. That's what we're about. That's what Healthcare Montana is about. Tell me about Healthcare Montana.
So so it's a $15 million project that's funded through the U.S. Department of Labor. The money goes to the community colleges in the state, and there's 15 community colleges. Those are 2-year colleges that are involved, and 4 of them are tribal. The lead college is Missoula College. That's why I'm located in Missoula. And we really work in 3 areas. So student support, which is what Pat does, coaching, and some other kinds of services that we provide students, like online tutoring and prior learning assessment, which allows them to get credit for experience or prior education that they've had. So a variety of different areas that we really provide student support, and Pat will talk about her coaching. We also do employer engagement, and that is Mary is a workforce coordinator, and she's going to talk about how she goes out and engages the employers, and part of that is developing an apprenticeship program, and Bo is going to tell you how Montana, for the first time ever, now has a registered healthcare apprenticeship program. And so by working in these 3 areas, we really build partnerships between the colleges and the employers out in the area and the people who are going to be students. And so we also work, the third part we work in is very important, is curriculum development. We have really gone out of our way, and the colleges have worked really hard to reduce the amount of time, for instance, for you to become a practical nurse by 1 semester, an associate of science registered nurse by 1 semester, and the bachelor's completion program by 1 semester. So you can now actually become a Bachelor of Science nurse in 4 years, just like you could if you went to a 4-year college. But you do the 2-year college route, you get your RN along the way, you can work, and then as you're doing your BSN completion, which is a 3-semester online program, so it's all distance except for one component that you have to do in the clinical site where you're already working, so you can actually work to get your BSN. And so it's really makes it possible for families, people who don't want to move or who want to stay in their community can actually get a BSN without having to go away. So
you mentioned $15 million. Tell me about the grant. Where did it come from?
Sure. So they're called TACT grants, and I won't even bother with the acronym. But they started during the time of the economic downturn, and it really was to try to help people who had been laid off from their jobs in the timber industry or in any other kind of industry, mining, wherever, in any industry that had this huge downturn, to help them be able to go to college or to get some kind of educational skills upgrade and get into a different workforce field. And so that's why the money goes funnels through the community colleges, because it's the community colleges that we're trying to streamline the curriculum that they're providing so that people can get into the workforce more quickly, into high-paying jobs in the healthcare industry.
Going back a little bit, was this the original goal of the program, and are you meeting those goals? I mean, have you had to weave and bob and weave, or is this is what you put down on paper, and this is what we're doing?
Well, we did say that we were going to streamline the nursing program. That was the major thing that we put. We also talked about how we were going to streamline all of the allied health, all the health professions, so that includes like pharmacy tech, physical therapy assistant, radiology technology, those kinds of programs too. And what we've done with those is created the prerequisite courses so that they're the same, whether you're getting a certificate or a degree, for all of the different programs. So you can shift from program to program, you can stack programs on top and not have to retake courses. So really it's about streamlining the education system in Montana, the 2-year system. But we have actually gone above and beyond quite a bit at the request of the employers in the state.
Wow.
We've developed program. One of the things that we've done, we've realized, is that to reach rural, and actually, by the way, healthcare, the care part of healthcare is creating access to rural education. So that's really what our major focus has been, and you do that by providing distance learning. So you create as many programs as you can in a distance fashion. And so that's one of the things that the colleges have really stepped up to the plate, and faculty have been doing that, and adding them to the apprenticeship program, which is just all of that is above and beyond what we said we were going to do. And so we shifted some of our dollars so that we could do this at the employer's request, and it's really been working very well.
I know you work with potential students, employers, colleges. Now, what are the different components of the program? And I think you pretty much went over that, didn't you?
Yeah, really. So truly it is. It's about helping people, adult learners. So the target population is adult learners, veterans, those people who have been displaced from their jobs or laid off from their jobs, trying to help them get into a high-paying, high-demand healthcare career. And so that's why we have our coaches who are doing recruiting. We have our workforce coordinators who are finding out, okay, what are your employer needs? We have our apprenticeship specialists that really try to figure out, would apprenticeship be appropriate for you, and how can we put this together? And so those are really, and then the curriculum redesign. I mean, those are really the areas that we focus on, and that's what the project is really about, is getting people into the workforce more quickly and saving them money along the way.
15 minutes past the hour of 9 o'clock on Voices of Montana. We're talking about healthcare Montana. Kay Norris, I want to talk to you, a healthcare coach. What's a healthcare coach?
A healthcare coach is your own personal career counselor who will help you figure out what career opportunities really are a good fit for you, doing career assessments, really customizing my service to each individual prospective student that I meet with. So some folks are really, I meet them, they already know what they want to do, what their career path is going to be, and the way that they can get there. And others are very unsure about what opportunities might be realistic given restraints they may face, like finances and family, and the inability to relocate, and the fact that they're working full-time, and how can they possibly add school or even a short training program to their already overfull lives. So as a career coach, my job is to meet each person literally and figuratively where they are, and I spend a lot of time in coffee shops and the library and all different kind of locations.
Now, I know rural Montana, and she was going to say bar, but she backed away from that now.
Yeah.
So trying to get a typical person is hard to do with your program. It's hard to find the typical. You can't say, well, our typical is 35, female, just raise the kids out of the house looking for something to do.
No.
You don't have a typical customer, so to speak.
I do not. And the referrals, the individuals whom I meet, come to me through all kinds of avenues. So Healthcare Montana has such strong connections with the communities in our state. So there are many, many agencies that know about Healthcare Montana that send individuals or recommend individuals to me whom I reach out to. And sometimes it takes a few pokes before we connect.
Right.
Other times it happens quickly and they're ready to go. And
so
we
no
have,
profile.
Yeah.
But what are the barriers that people are telling you?
Oh, the barriers are enormous. As Kay said, our prospective students, our student participants are over 18. And so sometimes life gets challenging when you're over 18 or you're over 50. Mm-hmm. And so there are issues that the typical high school graduate going off to college doesn't have to deal with. So, it's finance and it's family and it's work and it's kids who are making you crazy, or it's your parents for whom you're providing care. It's a spectrum. And as you say, it's not a typical prospective student because everyone's issues are different. Everyone's challenges are different.
And that's what you love about your job, isn't it?
It's so awesome. That's the best part.
I can tell. Why don't people pursue a career as a nurse?
Well, healthcare is bigger than nursing. And so sometimes that's a challenge because individuals look at, a local hospital and they say, well, I could never work there because I'm not a nurse. I don't want to be a nurse.
There's blood in there and needles. And
yeah. Ooh, icky stuff. I'm not doing that.
But then you find out it's a ranch wife who's been delivering calves and all this, and you would look at her and say, you do that? Oh, wow. It's a lot about just getting...